Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chai Tea Tai Chi web show. I'm Dane Dormio. I am here with my good buddy, Andrew Brown, and we have an exceptional woman joining us tonight. Miss Violet Lee is a Tai Chi teacher, writer, journalist, and advocate for health and wellness. She's the founder of the St. Louis Tai Chi and Qigong for Health. She's a 12th generation Chen style inheritor, and her articles and videos are viewed and enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of people around the world. So it's really an honor to have her with us, and I'm really looking forward to learning from you, Violet. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we hear you. I will turn you on to something, though, because it doesn't sound like you have these. And I don't yet either, but Andrew has these really great microphones called aftershocks. Is that what they are? They're USB.
Yeah, aftershocks. They hide, it hides really well under my hair. But it doesn't go in your ear. It rests on your temple, and then the mechanism inside vibrates, and that vibration goes through your bone, and you hear it. So that your ear is open, so that you can walk around and hear the cars coming and still listen to the music or have a phone call.
I see.
Yeah,
really cool.
So I can tell you don't have a really great microphone like that, but yes, we do hear you fine.
Good. Yeah, well, I have been doing the daily free Tai Chi classes online on Facebook and YouTube. But I have many challenges, and one of the problems was the sound. And I have an old computer, and it doesn't do Bluetooth very well. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it just stopped working, and without any warning. I have tried various things, and I have two Bluetooth mic, and I have an LPOT. But because my computer is too old, it doesn't work with those gadgets very well. So
speaking of your daily Tai Chi online Tai Chi classes, you're doing them regularly, and you have been for a while. Like many Tai Chi teachers, you've been finding new ways to teach online since the quarantine started, and those have just been getting lots of views, which means helping lots of people, which is great. So I want to say thanks and congratulations for doing that, and we're glad you're putting so much of yourself out there. I mean, you've been doing this 1 hour long free online Tai Chi class, free on Facebook, etc. Every day for months, and that's just such an amazing gift, and I'm glad to see that reaching so many people, because I know that it's having such a great impact in the world, and spreading vibrations of peace and healing.
yeah, I was quite surprised, and at the very beginning, because right before this whole pandemic things happened, I was teaching like 20-some classes each week. And then I got a notification, a lot of places, and they want to suspend the teaching there. I thought about my students. They were very, very dedicated on learning and practicing. I just, wow, what are we going to do? How about them? They have built up this kind of habit. So then, because I had some remote teaching experience, so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. But I did not realize that doing the class live streaming, and it's quite a lot of stress and quite difficult. Like I mentioned, I have run into all kinds of challenges, and but the reward is amazing. When I say reward, is well, I definitely know any monetary rewards, and I've been spending my own money and running the free classes. However, I got pages and pages of feedback from people all around the world. And right now, at least there are 24 different countries. They participated in these classes. And some people, I don't know where they live, because if they are not my Facebook friends, or they don't put in personal information there, so I will not know where they're from. But from what I can tell, that at least there are 24 countries and have been taking classes, and there are over 200,000 total views. And so yes, that's my reward, and I'm really grateful. And many of the Facebook friends and or just regular friends, they share the classes with their family and friends. And so yes, and I'm pretty encouraged by the general feedback.
Wow, wonderful. That's amazing. So 200,000 people are watching your video. Congratulations.
Well,
Yeah.
no, there's a difference between how many people versus how many times. What I mentioned was 200 total views, because someone very religious, they watch it every day, right? And I have done like 70 some classes already. So the total number of people definitely is not that much, but the total views are over 200,000.
Well, still, congratulations. That's great.
Well,
so in your class, what kind of class do you do? Do you do like a general Tai Chi class that's, it has to be just follow along, right? So what are you teaching in your class?
Well, excellent question. And right now I am in my studio, and this is my personal studio, and I practice here, and I also do small private lessons here, and like for 1 or 2 students at a time. It's quite small, so there's a limitation what I can do as far as a teaching form. So in my class, it's a 1 hour class. The first 30 minutes, I do the warm up and the Qigong exercise, because Qigong exercise, for most part, you can just, standing or sitting doing it. It does not require a lot of space. And but I'm extremely, extremely fortunate. And throughout my years as a journalist writing about Tai Chi and Qigong, by the way, I have written more than 600 articles. Most are in English and some in Chinese, but most in English. And so I have global readership, at least from 40 different countries. So I got to know a lot of great masters, grandmasters, scientists, and you name it. And I have interviewed them, so I have built a relationship with them. And so when I decided, to do this, and I thought, maybe I should invite them to come as a guest instructors. And besides, because my studio is so small, I have limitation to do certain things, right? But there's also another more important reason, is because as you both practice Tai Chi Chuan, you know how rich this art is. It's fascinating, and there are so many different kinds. And we're always talking about the 5 or 6 major style: Chen, Yang, Wu, Wu, Sun, and He. These are the 6 major Tai Chi styles. But there are other, I should add 7. Also Wudang Tai Chi. So there's so many of these, and I think this will be a good opportunity for some people exposed to different kind of Tai Chi, and then they can decide what they want to do, right? So I've been extremely fortunate, my friends, and they're very busy, and but they you know they just, how should I say, volunteer, and because I cannot afford to pay them and for their time and their knowledge, so they can voluntarily and to teach. So the first 30 minutes I teach, and the other 30 minutes, we have all different instructors teaching all different kind of Tai Chi.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right.
You
That's
never
great.
really come and
Yeah,
try
I will.
some feedback so we can do a better job.
I'd be happy to. Thanks. So you said that you started Tai Chi how many years ago? When was your first Tai Chi class?
Almost 20 years ago.
Oh,
Not
wow.
those kind of as long as you have been.
Longer than me.
So, but how should I say? I started with somebody and who wasn't really practicing the authentic Tai Chi Chuan.
Competition style?
I got a kind of lost for many years. However, I was extremely, extremely fortunate. And then in 2009, I met my teacher, Grandmaster Chen at the first International Tai Chi Symposium, which was held at Vanderbilt University. And I really have to thank the Yang family, Yang Star Tai Chi Chuan family, Master Yang Jun, put that together. He assembled the 5 grandmasters. They represent each style, and also there are a lot of other masters come, and then also invited so many top-notch scientists and practitioners with great experience. So there were over 400 people there, and in like 5 days or 4 or 5 days. And so we learned a lot, and so yeah, and that was the time I got to know my teacher. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Violet, I'm curious to hear your origin story of how you came to Tai Chi in the first place. How did what was the course of your life that brought you to Tai Chi?
Tell us your life story.
Well, how should I say? It's funny. My children were going to Chinese language school, and I had nothing to do, right? When they are in classroom. And then one year, there's one person and was teaching Tai Chi Chuan. I look at it, I said, oh, that's quite interesting because, how should I say, traditionally, or in the movie, we always see Tai Chi Chuan go so slow. And it did not seem, fit my personality, okay? And I did not like that quite slow. And that person, that instructor was supposed to do the Chen style Tai Chi. I said, wow, that looks awesome. So I studied, and but then later on I found out, and the Tai Chi Chuan is much deeper than that. And I also realized when we actually going very, very slow, it really takes a skill and to do that. And it's much harder to do it slow than fast. And as a matter of fact, during my class, and there were a few instructors like Bill Donnelly, and of Long Island, New York. And one day he was doing this young style Tai Chi movement. I followed him. Oh my God, my leg was so sore. And if people see I practice, the Tai Chi or saw my demonstration before, they know I have strong legs. But that day, I was telling Bill, I said, Bill, this is like a boot camp, okay? It's really tough. And then we also have like Master Abdul, and he does very slow. And the other day, and Billy Grill, Master Billy Grill, and from Maryland, and he was doing it slowly. It was like, okay, guys, you're going to scale with a lot of people because when you're doing slow, you understand it's really tough, right?
Yes.
And you know that. Yeah. So that's my story, and I got into this field just by accident, and then the more I learned, the more I appreciate it. And when I went to that symposium, I realized, how Chinese, this Tai Chi Chuan, and really tie into the Chinese philosophy, and about the nature, and about letting go philosophy. And I think that's what I really need to have, just chill, okay? And but my personality, as I mentioned, I'm always go go go, and so I think it's good. It's good for me. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, it is a thing that the people who need these kind of things the most are sometimes the people who go deepest with them. And if just imagine what you would be like if you hadn't practiced Tai Chi.
Bad back.
Well, I'm saying you said that.
Oh no! Hey, welcome back.
Okay.
Just shuffling a little bit. I think we can hear you better now.
Okay. I can sit a little closer. Maybe you can hear me better.
Yes, I think we have a better connection now.
All right, so you've been practicing. So Violet, you've been practicing for about 20 years. You've written all these articles about Tai Chi, and you've met all these different scientists. So what would you say are the main benefits of Tai Chi? Based on all the science and all the articles you've written and read, what are the main benefits of Tai Chi?
Well, I think, Tai Chi Chuan, and by the way, I'm extremely nerdy if you don't know this yet. I base everything on the facts, okay? So I prepare the books here, and more books, books, and Harvard Medical School Guide to Tai Chi, okay? So based on the scientific study, and Tai Chi Chuan, and they call it it's meditation in motion. And as a matter of fact, Harvard Medical School, and they changed it a few years ago. And actually in this book, it's called medicine in motion, because Tai Chi Chuan is the continuous movement, right? But through the movement, we actually gain a lot of health benefit. I don't know how I can sum it up. There are so many of them, and when I first heard about the Tai Chi benefits, so Tai Chi Chuan is like vitamins. It's good for everything. But is this really good for any particular ones? No, Tai Chi Chuan actually is a lot more than that, and for all seriousness. Okay, so I was going to write an article, but I have not done that yet. And I think Tai Chi Chuan is like the cell phone, the smartphone. Okay, so in the old days, people using the phone, you can only talk, right? And today, you use your smartphone. You talk, you text, you do your social media, Instagram, and you take picture with that. And you do everything, which normally you have to use all different tools and gadgets, like say in the old day we fax. Nowadays we don't fax. You just take a picture of it and then you shoot it to another person. So the smartphone really replaced a lot of functionality and of other tools, and we do it. So one day it was funny. Should I say this? Okay, I just said it. Just one.
Okay.
Somebody in the family sent me message. I don't know why that person decided to send me message, because I have written all the articles about health benefit of Tai Chi, right? So I got this message to say, okay, Tai Chi Chuan is good for people with heart problem. Tai Chi Chuan can boost immunity. Tai Chi Chuan can help people with diabetes. Tai Chi Chuan can help people who cannot fall asleep. Tai Chi Chuan is great for fibromyalgia and any chronic pains and balance and so forth. So I got all these messages like, you know what? Isn't Tai Chi Chuan like the smartphone for exercise? With one exercise, you can get all these benefits.
I really like that. Good analogy.
Okay, a lot of time, we okay, this is also my gym, because my family, they doing this, okay? If you want to build muscle, you do this. And if you want to do whatever you want to increase your heart capacity, you running and jumping, doing all different kind of things, right? And but with Tai Chi Chuan, you do one exercise, you get all the benefits. Isn't Tai Chi Chuan the smartphone for exercise? Right? So, yeah.
Definitely the greatest exercise I've ever encountered. That's why I keep practicing, because it's so good.
Good. That's wonderful. And I'm so glad to see a young person like you and enjoying it, and then you've been doing so long. That's great.
You hear that, Andrew? We're young.
Yes, I know.
Violet, I'm looking forward to seeing that in article form. You said that was an idea for an article that you haven't written yet.
I have not written. I've been very busy with all different things, especially now with the pandemic, and so people are home, and they're very stressful, and so I thought, as Andrew, you asked me, Tai Chi Chuan, what's the best, I would say the number one probably is relaxation. Relaxation is very important. A lot of health problems, came about because people stress out, stress kill, right? So Tai Chi Chuan really can help people to relax. So I have offering these free lessons for people to take, and so hopefully, helping them to cope with the fears and the anxiety and come with this virus. Yeah. So let me show you another book.
Okay.
I'm not lack of books. So this book is called The Relaxation Response. This was written 45 years ago, or published, I should say, 45 years ago. The first time came out 1975. And this book has been translated to maybe 40, 50 or more different languages. It was written by Dr. Herbert Benson, of another Harvard guy, Harvard Medical School guy. And he wrote this book and talked about the relaxation response in our body. And then he talks about, because people have the issue to relax. And now we have all kinds of health problems. If we can relax, and how many health problems can be, reduced or decreased or whatsoever. So this is a very, very important part of it. And I highly recommend everybody read this book.
All right, will do. Thanks.
So I'm curious, Violet, about your perspective on what is the importance of lineage in Tai Chi, because something I've noticed is a question almost all Tai Chi people like to ask each other, and I have been asked it a lot. If I say I do Tai Chi and to another Tai Chi person, they almost always the next question is what style, and uh, and
Yes, yes.
it's
Yeah,
it's a thing that people inside of in my observation, it's a thing that people inside the Tai Chi world put a lot of emphasis on, but people outside, it's all just Tai Chi, and they don't really notice the distinctions. So I was just curious about your perspective on the importance of the distinct lineages of Tai Chi.
excellent questions. And well, Tai Chi Chuan, it's an art. It's a healing art as well as martial art. And yes, some people did not realize that. But I remember one time I was teaching at this place, and most attendees were like seniors. And when I say Tai Chi Chuan is a martial art, they go, huh? I'm not here to do street fighting, right? But it's very interesting, and they they put these together. They fuse these two things together, and but like a lot of art, it's very hard to say who is better, right? And but even people study music and people study painting or whatever, and they go to a certain school and then they get a diploma or some sort to recognize the person's uh, background, the education background. So the lineage part to me is at least I know what I'm based on, right? And yes, Tai Chi Chuan, even though there are so many different styles, as I mentioned, but the basic foundations, the principles are the same. And with that being said, still, if John Smith, he's practicing Tai Chi, if I don't know if he which style he's practicing, yes, I can judge him by his if he's following those fundamentals. That's one way. But there's no way I can tell if he is doing his style correctly, right? So this way is with the lineage. At least what kind of training that person has. But we don't need to be snobbish about it. Somebody said, "Yeah, I graduated from Harvard." No, it's definitely it's not something like that. And if anybody just is like always name dropping, I think that's silly. You can go to the best school and learn nothing, right? And I always told my children, I say, you don't really need to go to a name, a famous name school to get good education. If you work hard and you learn everything and solid, you get a good education. Yeah. So that's pretty much my take on it. And of course, as a journalist myself, and if I'm going to interview, say, Andrew you today and write a story, and I like to know your background. And just like I would say, well, which high school you went to, which college you went to, or any things, or where do you work? just this kind of question. And then, but it's nothing about saying, okay, yeah, I am so and so a disciple, so right, and that's just being silly. Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I know what you mean. There's a definite distinction between Chun style and Wu style, so it's fairly easy to make that determination. But yes, it's always I was into competition back when I started Tai Chi. My first school was basically a wushu school, founded by Tai Chi players. So there was a professional wushu class, and then there was a professional Tai Chi class. So I went to competitions, and I got to see lots of different styles, lots of different forms from all over the country. And man, there's some weird Tai Chi out there, that's for sure. But yeah, like you said, then these judges are sitting there trying to decide, well, which one was better. You know, what kind of criteria do they go off of other than principles, fundamentals? The 8 techniques, 5 directions, sung. You know, how relaxed are you? Is your breathing regular? Is your speed regular? Are you jumping up and down in your speed? Are you coming up and down in your pose? So all these things become critical features of your style. How good are your basics? That's usually what it is.
I was, honored to be invited to judge tournaments a few times, and some of the smaller tournaments. A larger tournaments is easy because normally they go by the style, right? And since I practice mostly Chen style, I will do the Chen style judging. But some of the smaller tournaments, they just lump together. Then yes, the first things I go by is the fundamentals, like you said. And then, of course, I also wish the person is, how should I follow what their style supposed to be. And yes, I agree with you. Some of the people, I could not tell what they are doing. Yeah. So that's the reason, and we want to know and which style and the lineage. But I don't think it should by any means to judge a person, has good skill, not so good.
Yeah, we're lucky if we find a Tai Chi teacher in America. You know, it's one thing to be in San Diego or LA or San Francisco, but you're in the middle of Missouri and you're like, oh, I want to learn Tai Chi. Who are you going to go to? The closest guy, whoever that is. I don't know.
Or
study with them.
Or gal.
Maybe the enemy was St. Louis. As a matter of fact, in St. Louis, we have a few teachers. Believe it or not, we have a few dozen of Tai Chi instructors.
Oh, great.
Yes. However, I also heard somebody was out there teaching just by after going to a 1 weekend training. That was horrible, right? And but we do have a few really good instructors in St. Louis, and you probably see if you haven't been to my class. I have invited to teach in my class as well. You're absolutely right, and for me, and I have to go out of town to study, and so I first went to San Diego, where you are at, and I studied with Jesse Tao, Master Jesse Tao, and I was very fortunate, and I was able to study with Grandmaster Chen in his home in LA. He has a home in LA. He doesn't come here the whole time because he travels constantly around the world, and he also has several schools in China. So, but when he was coming to the U.S., I would go to his home and study with him, take private lessons. And I continued to study with him, and either here in the U.S. because he has these so-called summer camp. Except this year, we will go to the summer camp to advance the knowledge. And I went to China and went to the Chen village, which is the birthplace of Tai Chi Chuan. and I went there to be trained several times. Yes, it's not an easy thing to to find a good teacher, and
when you're looking for a teacher, what traits do you look for? I mean, other than their name, he's obviously the lineage disciple, but just what do you look for?
My first teacher, like I was saying, because I knew nothing about it, I'm just, oh, look nice. So I studied with that teacher, and then later I found out the teacher was practicing the Tai Chi more or less like Kung Fu instead of Tai Chi.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I again, as I mentioned, I was very fortunate. I went to the symposium and I realized, oh my God, this is real Tai Chi. And I had to unlearn everything I learned and relearn. And but I think this is for everything you learn in life. The teacher needs to be patient. The teacher needs to be passionate about teaching, right? About sharing. And then, of course, the teacher needs to have a good credential himself or herself. If a teacher only got a weekend certification,
Yes.
the the exercise at risk, right? So I think it is important for people to find that kind of information before you try it out. And in my 10 years as a writer, I got so many letters from readers, and they constantly asking me, what kind of teacher I should get. And so one of my advice is, maybe you take a trial class with the teacher. And then, I don't think the teacher would be able to offer private free lessons, but I think many of the instructors, including myself, would welcome anyone to come in to take a free lesson. So you can see if the chemistry is right. Some people don't like me because I'm too chatty. It's possible, right? And some people, and they can find out more. And then you see the teacher doesn't listen to student, doesn't get feedback from student, and doesn't do hands-on correction. Okay, just say follow me, keep following me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing right or wrong, and I need to be told. So I guess if you can order a free lesson, that can give you a lot of information about who he is, who she is. It's good at it or bad at it. so that would be my advice. And what do you think? What are you guys' opinion on this thing? I'm an instructor, so I need to know.
Well, I've been to probably about 30 different schools in my life, and every single time, I would do my best to take the free class, or maybe come in and pay like a $15 for one class fee, something like that. And then I like what you said. You watch the other students, how they behave around the teacher, how the teacher instructs. Are they just, I'm a video, just watch me and do your best to copy? Or do they show one or two moves and then make sure that all the students understand those two moves before moving on? Those are big deals to me, because you want to make sure that you're making progress. If you're not getting those corrections, you'll never make any significant progress. So that's a good point. The next thing is, I always appreciate a larger floor, like a wushu, like a wushu floor is always great, or a nice size wood floor. But if it's too tight, it's just tough to go there. So outdoors or a really nice studio, those are my favorite.
Studio, yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, you got a nice wood floor, right? I like wood floor.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Well, one of the things about wood floors is for beginners, if you do any of the martial art aspect, the Tui Shou, or if you try and do any San Shou, well, a wood floor is much harder to fall on than a nice soft floor. So that's another thing you want to look out for. If they're going to be doing fighting applications, make sure you know how to fall, because you don't want to fall in wood if you don't know how to fall. It's not very forgiving.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Dane, what about you?
I'm actually curious, Violet, about what do you notice as being the differences between teaching Tai Chi online and teaching Tai Chi in person? Because I've seen a range of opinions that exist from some people will go so far as to say, oh, you can't teach Tai Chi online. It's a scam if you try, basically. To people who say, like, they learn Tai Chi online and they love it and it works great. And I overall I see it as just kind of different, and there are certain trade-offs, but it's part of the evolution of the art and humanity as a whole. So I'm curious, what do you see as the differences between teaching in person and online, and how do you do it differently?
Well, again, a very, very good question. And partially, I guess it's my personality. And I always like to make the connection with people, and especially with my students. And when I'm teaching online, definitely it's very hard to get an instant, feedback and connection. And good things with Facebook and the other tools. And so people send me messages, but and also send me email. However, I think as we will talk about, a good instructor needs to provide feedback. Okay, and I have many years of teaching Tai Chi, and I have taught at least 3,000 people, both locally in St. Louis and nationwide and overseas. So I have quite a lot of experience. I have taught people with all different levels. My youngest students were 7. My oldest is 106. And I have taught people with, how should I say, compromised health condition.
Immune system, yeah.
And even I have taught people with Alzheimer's. So I have taught all different kind of people, right? And so it's very, how should I say? So I got quite a lot of experience. And I always try to understand my student and then tailor to their needs. But teaching online, because especially now I'm teaching so many people. If you go on just one Facebook page, okay? And you see how many views are there. And every day, some of the views has 6,000, 7,000 daily. So there are a lot of people out there. I'm pretty sure they all have different capability, right? So I try my best, based on my experience, to show people possible mistakes they can have. However, again, based on my experience, I can tell people 100 times, and they still will make mistake because people don't understand what they are doing. And so how should I say? I told them, videotape yourself and compare. And even then, some people still don't see the difference. Then when they see themselves and they see Grandmaster Chen is doing, they think that they.
It's the same. I'm the same.
Right. Yes. This happens all the time. So that's why, we need to be in person to do the hands-on adjustment. It is so important to do that. Of course, right now with the pandemic situation, and with so many people, all different background, whatsoever. It's impossible to do that. And that's why also our exercise, we're going very high level in the teaching, but we are not going too complicated maneuvering, because complicated maneuvering, a lot of time you need to up close. I have done remote teaching for years, but it's one-on-one. So I would, when I'm teaching, say, you, Andrew, I'm just making an example. Okay, I say, Andrew, you just do what you're doing it. And I would take a screenshot and show you what you did wrong. Okay. And a lot of time I ask them after they learn it, the segment, videotape it, send me. Then I will review this friend by friend and telling the person, you are a little bit off there. Okay, you did not sit quiet. At 1 minute, 13 seconds, and I took a screenshot and I sent it back to the person, and I showed the person the correct way. So you cannot do this kind of thing when you are dealing with thousands of people, right? So that's the difference. And the easiest is in person, because I see it, and even in person, a lot of time I have to, because once they move it, they forgot, what did I do, and I have to take a picture and then say, see, that's what you did. Oh yes, I did it wrong. Let me share a story with you, my personal story, okay? And I'm Chinese, in case you guys don't know. And I have English class since middle school. And after I graduate from, I have a 4-year English class in college. And after college, I still, taking English lessons. And I got 2 master degrees in the US. So you think I got enough English, right? But I spoke with very heavy accent. I still have accent, but much better than before, if you heard me before. So I went to a speech therapist. So the speech therapist was telling me, I don't say thank you correctly, because I say thank you like thank, thank, and thank.
Oh, thank,
so,
yeah.
Yes. So my TH sound and S is the same. So when I say, I don't see the difference. I don't think. And then she kept saying, thank you. I said, it's no different than what I said. But it was very cool. She has this gadget, okay? So she had me saying it. So it shows the
waveform.
The wave, sound wave. And then she said it's sound wave. And then put a 2 and 2 together. Yes, it's very different. And then, all the changes start with recognizing your own problem. If I could not tell the difference. I'm not trying to be stubborn, okay? I just could not tell the difference. But when she played these 2 on her machine, clearly showed me 2 different graphs. Then I sensed, okay, I was wrong. Oh, I had accent, right? And from that point on, I think I started to change. And I follow her way. And the same thing was learning Tai Chi. A lot of time you're telling students, you're wrong. And they don't believe that. They think you do exactly as you say, right? So you have to videotape it or take a picture and then show them and say, that's it. So back to your question there, I cannot do that with thousands of viewers out there, right?
Yeah, well, it's a universal trade-off that, and just maybe a universal law even that I've observed, that with whatever you're teaching, the most potent transmission is direct 1-to-1. The more people you're teaching to, the more you have to kind of soften or water down perhaps what you're teaching. And if you're teaching it to 2 or 5 or 10 or 100 or 1,000 people at once, and that's just so it's kind of a yin yang built in to the nature of the universe. Do you have a different experience?
I'm not saying disagree, but I think that there's something needs to be added to it. Okay. For example, my group classes in St. Louis, I have 40, 50 students sometimes in the class. And most of my classes, I have between 20 to 30 people in the class. Okay. I don't change it just because the size of the class. I teach the same thing as I teach one person. The only difference is the class, is an hour. I would not be able to pay close attention to individual and doing individual hands-on adjustment. That's the difference between I'm teaching, 100 people at a time versus teaching one person. The quality of teaching is the same. It's the message I gave out is the same. The only difference is I will not be able to do the individual hands-on feedback. That's the difference.
Yeah, the feedback.
Yeah,
right. The attention.
I can. Let me give you one example. It was funny. I was teaching 8 sections of brocade, one movement. Okay, let me just demonstrate for you. Okay. So I'm saying, okay, you open your arms, turn your palms out, and not turn the body, only turning the head, okay, and back. So one time there's one student in my class, he kept doing this, okay, his body turned, the head turned like this. So I kept saying, okay, this is a correct way, okay, this is a bad, now I cannot even do it the incorrect way. So I did this so many times, and that person's still doing it wrong. But in that class setting, because I understand that you don't want to call that person out and go to say, hey, Johnny, you did it wrong, right? That people will feel bad, feel like losing face. So I kept doing it, this is right, this is wrong. I did so many times. And Johnny still did it wrong. So after the class, and then Johnny came to me, and then everybody else is gone. You're the best teacher. I said, yes, because you see, not only you emphasize the correct way, you also show us the wrong way. Don't it's like, finally I just lost it. Johnny, I said, didn't you know? I was.
Yeah.
He had, I'm talking about this person. I could be Johnny, okay? If I did not have good teachers and correct me, if my teacher did not do those for me, I'll be like Johnny as well. And this is very common. We human beings just don't realize that. Back, how many years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, a friend of mine and also a Tai Chi practitioner showed me a cartoon saying, this is what we think we are doing, this movement. And that's what other people think. So, there's different ways, you think that you're doing the right thing, but you're not. A lot of times people are like that way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, very true.
Violet, I want to make sure that our viewers know what is the best way to connect with you, to learn from you. What's the best way for people who want to stay connected?
Well, they can visit my Facebook pages if they I think that my Facebook pages are all public, and so they can visit me there. And if they want to see, how I teach, they can look at those lessons. And one of my students, Norm, always says, Norm said, Violet, I don't care what people call you. I know they call you master, but to me, you are a comedian. Because I like to joke, and you probably can tell that's my personality, right? I joke a lot, so I always make them laugh. So he said, I don't care what people call you. I just think that you are a comedian. So I said, that's the highest, praise I can get. Thank you. So, but you know what? Some people don't like instructor like me, so chatty, right? So there you go. So if people are interested, attend my daily class and see who I am, right? And then they can visit my website also. I have two websites. One is about my teaching, which tells who I am and my lineage, but I have where I have been teaching, and somewhat something and what are the styles and forms I teach, I practice, and their website is violetli.com. That's just my name, violetli.com. And if you are interested in my articles, and you can go to violetlitaichi.com, violetlitaichi.com. These things are not very creative at all. Sorry.
Quite all right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, do you have any other questions, Dan? I mean, I could go on another hour. How much time do you have, Violet?
I know there's certainly a lot that we could continue to dive into, and you're so pleasant to talk to, Violet. So let's just say to be continued for now, and keep this bite size. But I do want to say in particular, thank you again for such wonderful and lovely presentation at the World Tai Chi and Qigong Day online summit about a month ago. It was really lovely getting to meet you in that context, and I just really appreciated what a wonderful presentation you did. So
well, thank you for putting that together, and that's a lot of hard work. I know that.
Yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for being here, and thank you for all the great work that you're doing. I'm glad that we are on the same team in terms of raising awareness, health, and consciousness on the planet all together, all at the same time, all when the world needs it the most. So thanks a bunch, and we'll look forward to continuing the discussion at another time.
Sure, anytime. Thank you
right.
very much for having me here tonight. Appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you so much, Violet.
Thank you.
谢谢，再见.
Yes, thanks. Have a good night, everybody. And thank you, all our viewers as well. Thanks for being here, and thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Bye.